It says that we're live, so I've got just about everything set up. Yeah, it looks like we're live. We'll see in a minute. So hopefully everything's going good. So I'm looking over on my right hand screen to make sure OBS is working. It looks like it's working, and it looks like YouTube says that I'm streaming. So let's hope that this is working and that I'm not talking to myself. So as always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out. My name is Rich Charpentier. I'm the channel host here. And more often than not, we're talking about drones. Today, we're not really talking about drones, but we are talking about something that could work with building your drone business too. So we're going to be talking about doing 360 panoramas and actually putting them together in a presentation that's like a virtual tour. So today we're going to use WordPress. I'm going to be using a plugin called iPanorama. Let's see. Let's get the name right, shall we? There we go, iPanorama 360. So we're going to be seeing this screen a lot today. And we're going to be actually building out a page. Now, this isn't specifically for a client. We did a shoot a couple of days ago for a client who needed some 360 images, some 360 video, and some standard still photography. So we went out and did that just a couple days ago. And we ran into some interesting problems. There's always something that comes up on a job site, and this is a really interesting one. So one of the things I was doing was running the 360 camera, and the Insta360 1X to be specific. And I ran into an interesting problem with 360 video while doing interiors of these new apartments. And we're not going to focus on this too long, but I thought I'd show this to you because this was a weird thing. And I started looking on screen on the tablet, and I was like, what the heck is going on? It's actually a known issue, and well, let's just show you. So I'm opening up a 360 video captured with the 1X, and let's go hit the play button, and you'll notice it right away. Do you see that flashing? Do you see that strobe effect? Oh, I should have given you a warning, may cause seizures. See the flashing that's going on with the lights there? So this new recessed lighting is LED based. So there is LED lights flash on and off rapidly. And somehow that makes them more energy efficient and things. But filmed at just the right frame rate, and you too can have the disco strobe effect on a photo shoot that you're doing. So I did some research over the weekend. It is a known issue. There are some things that you can do with the Insta360 1X so that you're not dealing with that. So there are actually tools for addressing flicker. And when I did a little research on the flicker issue, let's just go ahead and pop open a new tab. Insta360 1X flicker. And when we search on this, I found, there's multiple videos about dealing with flicker, LED status. Oh no, there are a couple videos. I've actually watched the tutorials. So I'll be dealing with that later today. But first I wanted to deal with doing some 360 virtual tours. I did an earlier video on the iPanorama 360. It was a shorter one, and I have had requests from people to expand on it a little bit. So with that in mind, that's what we're going to be doing. And let's go ahead and pull this back up. And we're going to be making a couple more of these. But on the right-hand side, where it says Virtual Tour-112, this is just me testing out iPanorama. So we're going to be handing off the images and the 360 images to the client. They have their own web development team. They have their own marketing team. So our job was just to get the shots done for them. But I always like doing a little extra for clients. I know that time's very important to them right now. And so there are ways where they can take the 360 pano that you see here on my screen. They can take that 360 pano and embed it into their own website. So while their development team is putting together the final touches for their presentation, I wanted to put together these 360 virtual tours for them as a as a safety net. So if they need to get something up sooner, we're going to try to help them get that something up sooner. Now, as you can see on this, so this was shot with the Insta360 One X, and you can look around the room. You'll notice that I'm not zooming around the room. In the plugin that we're going to be using, we can tell it whether or not it's zoomable. One of the things I've found looking at 360 virtual tours, like on a tablet, for instance, man, you accidentally zoom in and out, in and out. Same thing with, you know, on these screens, if you've got a mouse like the Apple Magic Mouse where you slide back and forth, zoom in, zoom out, it can get nauseating really fast. So I actually turned the zoom in and zoom out feature off. So I picked the zoom level that I liked, and I've locked this tour to it so that I'm not making people nauseous. So this is just a preview. This page will not be remaining up. I'm just building this page as a temporary thing for doing this demo with you, and also giving the customers a quick look-see so they have an idea of what they have to work with as they're building out their web pages at their business site. So I did create a new web page on WordPress, and then I used Xtheme's Cornerstone to lay it out. So I'm going to close this window right now, and we're going to go over to the content. So this is the window, this is the page editing area from Xtheme. And so you can block things out. And I've already blocked out that first one, and you just saw it. So we're going to be filling in a couple of these, or maybe just one of these, because this could go long. So there is that. All right. So I have 2 tabs open at AZ Drone right now, and normally when I'm doing web work, I'll have 2 or 3 tabs open because I'm doing several different things. And while I'm doing those things, I just like to bounce between the tabs. So if you're doing your own web work, you're probably used to it too. You probably got multiple screens, and you probably got multiple tabs open. So we have the page editor where the final stuff is going to be going in, and then we have iPanorama 360. So this is the thing that allows us to do 360 virtual tours, 360 images. It lets us put these right into our WordPress website. There are a ton of plugins and applications out there to do this with. So I'm not plugging iPanorama. I paid them for this, so I've got their pro version. And it takes a while to remember if you're not doing it often, if you're not doing these things every day. There's a lot of steps in this. So we're going to take a walk through those steps. So the page that you saw before, I made a iPano item called kitchen testing. So it was starting in that kitchen area. But let's go ahead and do a new one. So before we go any further, we went through and we shot 4 different units. So unit number 102, 111, 112, 113. So when we returned from doing the shoot, I offloaded everything into Lightroom, and then I started going through and picking the images because there are more 360s that I actually shot in each of the models than we actually used. I decided that we were going to keep this low and simple. You don't need a million 360s from the same room. You need a 360 from each room. So I was trying to keep each of these between 6 and 10 images. The largest model that we looked at, I did 9 images. And that was a pretty interesting one. Actually, why don't we use that one? So that is unit number 102. And here are all the images that I have. And I'm going to move these off to a screen that you can't see, but we'll be grabbing from them afterward. So I'll let you see them then. So I'm just moving that over. And here on iPanorama, so when you install iPanorama as a plugin, it's going to be on your left-hand toolbar in WordPress, down toward the bottom, in my case, iPanorama 360. And I can click on all items, and that's all the little tests that I've been doing here on Arizona Drone. So I'm just looking over at the chat window to make sure no one's saying anything yet, because you just never know. All right, so when you get into all the items, here are all the different little 360 Panos that I've been doing tests with or I'm using for something. And over in the right-hand corner, we have an add item. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and hit this add item. And this is going to bring us into the iPanorama 360. So we're going to call this unit 102, open field. So I'm just giving it a name, and actually, let's just go with that. All right. So what we're seeing here is the interface for the 360 viewer. And there's a lot of toys down here. So we're on the Pro version #1, and we've got a general setting. So this is where we're always going to start. I'm going to go ahead and turn auto load on. And then I actually got in touch with the creator of iPanorama 360 over the weekend because I had another quick question on something I wanted to get rid of. And I didn't know where it was. So he got back to me same day, really quick. So fantastic support. Under widget here, I'm going to click on that for a setting. And full screen toggle control, I'm turning that off. You can have that on so that you can show the 360 virtual tour full screen. And while that's great, that's interesting and kind of a novelty. Once again, with zooming in and zooming out and also the full screen toggle, I'm turning these off. I've talked to enough people who've looked at some of them who aren't big fans of 360 walkthroughs. We actually know someone who's house hunting right now, and they cannot stand the 360 walkthroughs. They say that the spinning gets them a little nauseous. And also they say that a lot of real estate images are overcooked lately, and I do agree with them. I'm a big fan of high dynamic range photography. It absolutely has its place, but sometimes real estate images get overcooked. They don't show what the interior looks like. And when you walk into a building after you've seen it online, you're like, hey, this is a different house. Those walls aren't green, they're white. So we're trying to keep it as realistic as possible with the work that we're doing for our commercial clients. When I do my artistic photography, when I do the landscape photography, hey, the gloves are off, anything to make an interesting image. But when it comes to doing the commercial work, we really want to represent things as accurately as possible so that when potential buyers come in, they don't feel like they were fooled by a website. So I turn that full screen toggle control off, and I'm going to say okay to that. So those are the two things you really need to do on the general page. Well, actually, let's see here. So we can do an auto width and an auto height, and I'm turning off the autos because I want a very specific size. So we're going to go do a little math here really fast. And 1920 divided by 2 is 960. Actually, let's do that. 1920 divided by 3. So what am I doing? I'm just setting my actual width and height. So we're going to do 640 pixels and clear 1080 divided by 3. 360 pixels here. You'd think I'd remember this today, but it is early in the morning, so there's that. All right, so we've set that one up. Everything else looks good to me. So we went in, we enabled it, we auto load. In my case, we went under this widget here, and we turned off the full screen possibility. And then I decided, let's go ahead and fix the width and height. So this is just my personal preference. You can go ahead with auto load if you want to. But I want to make sure that it comes out the same size every time. So now I'm going into scenes. This is where we actually put our images in. And this is where we set up all the functions for those images. And so let's see over here. Sorry, just looking at the other screen again. So let's create a new scene. I'm going to go here and hit the plus button for a new scene. And we have, it's a general scene. It's enabled. It has an ID. We are going with a sphere. There are other options that you can experiment with. Panorama. And so let's give this one a title. So we're going to start this. Okay, we're going to start with the living room and kitchen #1. So I'm going to call this kitchen. So there we go. We're giving it a title, and those titles are going to come in handy after. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to select an image. And I have not uploaded the image to WordPress yet. So we're going to upload that. I'm going to go over here to upload files. And now off screen, let's pull it on screen just for you to see. So there's all the images for this particular unit. And we're going to grab number 102, living room and kitchen number 1. So I just gave these labels to make it easier on my client staff. So on their design staff and their web staff, they've got all these things labeled so that when we hand them off to them and they build their virtual tour with the software they're using, they're going to be all set. So we have selected that one. So let's bring it back in here. So now we've got kitchen and living room. Before we go any further, I do want to show you one other thing. If you haven't done much with 360 photos, 360 photos look really weird when they're not in a 360 viewer. So let's go ahead and double click this. So here's what the 360 photo looks like when it comes out of the 1X. So it's pretty crazy, you know, that somehow the software can pull all this stuff together and make a smooth 360 video presentation basically out of it. So, and by the way, this was also a very interesting apartment we were shooting. They call this a loft. A lot of really good workable space in here. So I actually like this one a lot. It was a long and narrow unit, so I think it reminded me of being in the Airstream. But yeah, very spacious one, so I was fairly impressed. We'll go ahead and close that one out. So we have added that image to our WordPress installation, and we can see it right here. So here we go. We can actually move around in here and start taking our initial look. And let's select, since we're calling this the kitchen area, let's go ahead and select this as the starting point. So when someone's coming in and they pull the viewer up, I want to put it right about there. And let's go down here and we can actually set the starting position from where we just adjusted the camera. So when this particular 360 comes up, it's going to start looking at this fridge and this stove. So let's scroll on down. Now we also have a zoom value that we can use. So we could zoom in and out on this. So I can zoom in. Oh, by the way, the previewer is not the prettiest thing in the world. So there we go. Maybe right about there. We'll go with that as our starting point. So I zoomed it out a bit more. And I can copy that. So there it goes, 83. What I was going to say to you is usually I go in and set this manually and I like it somewhere between 83 and 85. So I'm going to go with 85. We have a couple of more options. So we're saving the camera position. So there's our start position. We've got data here. So if you would like to insert anything you can, so you can do some customizations on this. The additional tab I also don't use. I do go down to actions. We're going to auto rotate this. We're going to auto rotate this at 1. And I'm also going to tell it no zoom. So this is what I was talking about before. I've turned off the zoom on this because like I said, on tablets and things or on a magic mouse like this, if you slide your finger around at all, you're zooming in, you're zooming out on these things. It really does get nauseating. I showed it to Jody's Aunt Kim one time and she was like, no, didn't like the zooming. So I like to fix these. That's just my personal preference. And as I said, we're going to be handing this off to the client. They're going to be using their own software for their website to do this. I'm just doing this as a demo here for you. And also so that when I send them all of the materials that we've collected for them, it's always nice to kind of give them a little show of, hey, this is what you can expect from it. So we always do a little extra, whether it's one of our drone clients or web clients. We always throw in a couple things here and there. And that usually works out pretty well for us. So the clients usually like that. So all right, there we go. We have created this first scene. We've given it a starting point. I'm going to hit save as, cancel. Whoop. I didn't mean up here. The save is right down here. Whoops. So there we go. Hit the wrong button. So I hit that save. Looks like that save is done. And once again, we call this Unit 102 Winfield. One of the things that I'd like to do now is actually do a quick test. So we're going to put this onto the web page that I showed you before. So what we're going to do is down here in that scene, we have something called shortcode. So this shortcode can be inserted to one of my web pages on WordPress. Now here's what's really cool with the iPanorama 360. I think this was a really smart decision on the creator's, on his side of the things here. Um, he actually gives us an iframe, okay? So what that means is I can give someone this iframe. Let's say you've got a WordPress website and you would like to show my panorama viewer. Well, I can send you this iframe along. You can embed it on your WordPress site and boom. What I built on my website is now accessible to you so that you could actually do a presentation with it. We're not going to do that right now. But so if I had a client who needed to get something up quick, I could build the tour for them and then give them the iframe for it and they can embed it in their website. So that is awesome. That was a really great feature that the developer here used. So thank you very much, Max. I do like this software. So, all right, so we've got that saved. We just copied the shortcode. So now I'm going over to my other tab. So this is the tab that has my demo page that I'm building. And what we're gonna do here, number one, I wanna go to the row because I wanna make these even. There we go. And I am going to insert a text box. So I'm just dragging a text box over. So this, by the way, is the Cornerstone editor from Xtheme. And so you can do some really highly stylized stuff. So you don't just have to use this one. You don't have to use WordPress. There's 1,000,001 ways to put your information out there with different web builders. So use what you're comfortable with, and I'm sure that they probably have a 360 viewer as well. All right, so input your text here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call this Unit 102. And I think I screwed up on that name before, so we'll see. Let's go ahead and make that a heading. And now we're going to insert that Pano ID. So that is the 360 viewer. And let's see, so that was 112, and this one is 102, and did I call it? Yeah, I did call it 102, good. Sorry, I switched tabs because for a minute I thought I called it 112. So now our text box has unit 102, and then it has the iPano shortcode going down to the left-hand bottom corner to hit save, because that's where you'd save things now on Xtheme. All right. What I'm going to do next above save is I'm going to do a preview window. So we're going to scroll on past that first one because I had already pre-built that. And we're going down to the next one. And what do you know? There it is. We have that 360, that first image. We've got it set up. It's right here. It's going nice and slow. People can click it, move it around. So there we go. Phase one. Of getting one in there is complete. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close that preview window and I'm gonna go back over to the iPanorama because what we've done so far is we've done a single image 360. So a single image isn't really a virtual tour. You're gonna need a couple more images probably. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back over to scenes. So there's our first scene, really exciting. Let me close that actions. And we're gonna go ahead and make a second scene. So now we've got this new scene and there is nothing in it. We look at that first scene, there we go. And so here's our second scene, nothing in it. It's a general again, ID we're leaving alone, the type we're leaving alone. And so let's call this one hallway because we're gonna be doing one of the hallway shots here. Because this is a much longer apartment, so we've got a lot of hallway space going on. Now I'm gonna go select my image again, and I'm gonna go over to upload files. And here I'm gonna pull this screen back over so there's the hallway one, so that's the one I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna slide that back out of your view, and let's go ahead and drag hallway in here. And you see lots of other images that I have in here from other projects and other client work. So my media library's always got a lot of stuff in it on WordPress. All right, so it's gotten that second one in there. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna select that. So now we have the hallway. We're gonna tell it to enable the scene. We got the image. Now we need that camera starting position. The zoom value, we already know we're gonna put that to 85. because that's what I did with the last one. And so let's figure out this hallway here. Where do we want to see that hallway? So do we want it facing back out toward the kitchen, or do we want it facing toward the bedrooms? I think I'm going to go with bedrooms here. So, all right, we'll give that tilt right to about there. And now let's go down, and I'm going to click over here on the right-hand side. So now we have told it that we always want it to start here in the hallway. So that's awesome. Let's scroll on down here again, because we need to do some actions one more time. I'm going to do an auto rotate. If you remember, the last one was a +1. This one I'm going to do as a -1. And so it's going to be rotating in the opposite direction. Having all of the tours rotating counterclockwise or all rotating clockwise gets a little old, so I like to mix them up. That's just a personal preference thing, so it's up to you. You could also do a no rotate, so it's just up to the viewer to rotate things. Once again, up to you. All right, so we've got the hallway done, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save on that. Now, let's take a look at the page again, because we need to do a couple more things. As we're adding these, we can actually make them link to each other. Right now, we haven't linked anything to each other. So let's go back to that page that we're building. So there we go again, Unit 102. And I'll fix that text after, but let's go ahead and edit that. Yep, so the piano ID of 12 is there. And let's just go ahead and hit that preview. Now remember, we've added a second image. So if we scroll down now to Unit 102, hey, there's that kitchen, looking great. Notice the arrow in the upper right corner. So if you just want to move on to the next scene in order, if you click that, it brings us into the hallway area. So there we go. So we've got our hallway going on here. And there is the living room area that also has the kitchen area. And we can arrow back to the first one, and it picks up where we left off before. So that's kind of interesting as well. Let's close that. And let's go back over to this panorama setup. So we've got two images right now. We've got a kitchen and the living room, and then we've got this hallway. From the kitchen and the living room area, we can connect to the hallway. So let's go to kitchen and living room under scenes. And we're going to make a marker for that hallway to get us over to that hallway. So what I'm going to do here, let's scroll down a bit because I've got it where I want it. I'm going to go into markers, and I'm going to make a completely new marker. And now you see this weird little XYZ plane here. And this is how we're going to move our marker over and have that marker link to the next image, which is going to be the hallway image. So let's go right over here. We're going to put it right about there. So it's our little dot. And we're going to give it a title. So we're going to call this hallway. And we're going to make a tooltip for it as well. So we're going to enable a tooltip. And this is actually going to pop up on the button. So it's going to be a little text tip so that when you point at the button, it's going to say hallway. So there we go. We're just going to leave it as hallway here. And let's go back over to the marker because we do have to do one more thing in here. So we've picked our location and our actions. We could go to a URL, so we could send it to another photo, maybe a standalone photo, maybe somebody else's website. You click the door going out and it leads you into a pizza place, who knows. But you can also go to a scene. So we could put a URL in here, or we can put a scene in here. So we're going to put the hallway. So now we've created a marker for that first scene. I'm going to hit save. So we're just waiting for it to save. There we go. So now I go over to scenes. We've got kitchen and living room. We've got hallway. And then we've got markers. Now I point at kitchen and living room. We've made a marker for that. Let's point at the hallway really quick. Notice the markers button doesn't have any numbers under it because we haven't made a marker for the hallway yet. So let's take a look at the hallway. And let's whip things around here and get it where we want it. Maybe right about there, yeah. Okay, so let's make a new marker for the hallway now. I'm going to hit plus, and let's call this living room and kitchen. So this one is bringing us back to the living room and the kitchen. And let's also make that tooltip exactly the same thing. So I'm going over to the tooltip, popping that in. There we go. No other actions under the tooltip. So now the main action under this marker is going to be to go to that kitchen and living room. All right, so we've selected that. Let's hit save. So we've done a couple of things here now. So we've linked the kitchen and living room, and they are now linked to the hallway, and the hallway is linked back to them as well. And looking here, I get this little dot here. Let's save that one more time. Like I said, the preview on this isn't the greatest thing in the world. Hey, Julian, thanks. I'm sorry I'm not looking over regularly enough, but thank you very much. Glad you're along. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'm going to hit save again because now I distracted myself. And please feel free to comment over there. I will catch up with them. All right, so we've finished these two images now. Let's go back over to our page that we were building. Let's do that preview again, and let's scroll on down. All right, so Unit 102, number 1, I want you to notice. So I'm also going to get rid of this button in the upper right corner in the end because that's distracting. Easy enough to take out, so we will, because we're going to be using these navigation buttons instead. But and I'm going to change the resume on this circling timer because it's a little too quick. But as you can see, we've got this button here now in the hallway. That's that marker we made. So that's kind of awesome. Let's click it. And there we go. We're in the hallway. It's a very exciting hallway. There's the guest bath right there. So I figured I'd bring her in. Notice we've got another marker. That second marker we made. That marker's going to the living room and kitchen, so it brings us back out there. I do have a couple other living room and kitchen images as well, so I might pick a different that marker afterward. It places people in a different location in that living room and kitchen. So so there we go. Now, I know that a lot of people come to this channel for all the drone talk and building the drone business. This does fit within the rest of your business as well. One thing that I have done, which has been really cool last year, was did a real estate project where we were doing a virtual tour using this particular tour builder. And I did some 360s outside of the building. So I took the Mavic 2 Pro, we did some exterior 360s, and then we created those marker links to come into the house. So you're outside, you can look around the entire front yard, you can look around the entire backyard, and you have markers to go to the garage, go to the front door, go to the rear slider door. So that was really cool. So that's where the drone is being used for 360s. And also then whatever you're doing for interior work is being used for 360s. So you can give a total property view. In the case of this client, they didn't need any exterior 360s or anything yet because they're still finishing the exterior, so the landscaping's not done. We went out to do these for them. These are kind of a temporary stopgap to start showing off models that are ready, and the project is just about done. So, all right, we've included these two. I don't want to drag on too. Oh, it's only 8:30. Okay, I've given myself up to an hour for these streams. Let me see, Julie, any chance you can consider doing a step-by-step guide follow-up on the web ODM? Yeah, I can definitely give that a whirl, Julian. It's been that thing's been the bane of my existence. It really locked up my machine the last time that I tried it out. I did get a suggestion from someone on one fix, so so I'll look into doing that one soon. So you made me laugh, so thank you. That's a good morning laugh. But yeah, it's still loaded. Actually, if you look, all right, so now I'm just talking to Julie and everyone, but if you look on the top bar over here, you can actually see my desktop Docker. The desktop Docker is what you use for the web ODM for launching. So it's still installed. I didn't take it off. Mostly I'm using Metashape for just about everything. And we'll be talking about an orthomosaic solution here in the very near future, another company that's looking to provide orthos. And I think I'm doing an interview with them this week, but I'll let you know here on channel. Okay, so anyways, let's go back. Let's turn that preview page off, and let's go back. So we've got our scene. So we've gone from the kitchen to the hallway. So what can we do in the hallway? Well, we noticed in the hallway that there's the guest bathroom, and that door right there leads into I'm calling it the guest bedroom. So we do have a couple of more places that we can put markers into here, because we're gonna have we'll have a guest bathroom marker, we can have a guest bedroom marker, and we can have the master bedroom marker right there. So we should probably put some more images in here. So number one, let's grab that image folder again, and we need to make a new scene. So I didn't mean to make a scene, officer. I don't think I've ever said that in my life. So, all right, let's make a new scene. Let's do the guest bathroom first. So here we go, enable the scene. So there's the guest bathroom from the hallway. And now we're going to, let's take a look at there we go, guest bath is right there. So I just pulled that on screen so you'd see what I'm doing. So let's select an image for the guest bathroom. So we're gonna upload the files. We're gonna drop this on in. And so if I wasn't on camera, I do talk to myself regularly while I do this and hum, and you know, it's what are you gonna do? When you work alone a lot, you sometimes get silly with yourself. All right, so we have gotten the guest bathroom in here, and oh no, look, I'm gonna need to go do an edit. I missed that in editing. You gotta be kidding me. How did I miss something so obvious? All right, Rich, way to pay attention. So that little stick right there is the Insta360 One X on its little tripod deal. I can't believe I did that. All right, that's okay. We can fix it and deal with it. So let's go ahead and what do I want to set the starting point for? Let's go ahead and say that we're setting the starting point right there. So I'm going down to camera start position. I'm hitting that little copy button. And then for that zoom value, I'm going to do 85 again. Additional actions, we're going to do an auto rotate, and we're going to do 1. Remember, the last one we did was -1. And I'm going to disallow the zoom because I hate the zoom. All right. So we have now created the guest bathroom. We haven't made any markers in the guest bathroom yet. So we can do that next. So let's scroll up here, and I still can't believe I put that in there. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed that you saw that. See what happens when you live stream? That's when you blow it. All right, so let's go over and make a marker really quick. So we are making a marker for that right there. I'm gonna hit the add button and hallway to kitchen. So I'm calling that hallway to kitchen. And now let's kind of like stairway to heaven, but hallway to kitchen. I'm gonna move that button over just a little bit so you can actually slide this this marker over. Hi George, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. All right, so we've got this set up where we want it. Let's make sure, hallway to kitchen, and we need to tell it to go to a scene. So we're gonna go back out to that hallway. So that's gonna put us into the hallway. And now let's just steal this, Control C, go over to the tooltip, enable the tooltip, Control V. Now we have that button back there. Let's go ahead and hit save. Now, we're also going to be connecting to the guest bedroom, the master bedroom. So as you can see, as you're building this, you're going to be making lots of little markers. So you might want to import all your images, put them in the order you want, and then go through and start doing the markers after. But I wanted to show you how these come together. I still can't believe I left that camera in the reflection of the mirror. So embarrassing. All right, so we've made that marker, and let's go over to our demo page that we're building here, and let's go ahead and hit that preview button again. Scroll on down. Okay, so there we go. Unit 102, number 1. There is our hallway marker. Let's go there. All right, now we're in the hallway. And did I forget to do the bathroom marker? I sure did. I put it in. All right, see, this is why I keep multiple tabs up. So let's go back to our scenes. Let's go to the hallway scene. In the hallway scene, we have one marker that returns us to the kitchen and the living room. We need another marker to get us into the bathroom here. So see, the bathroom looks great right now, and you don't know that I left the stupid tripod mount in there. I'm not forgiving myself for that one. All right, we're making a new marker, and this is going to be called guest bathroom. All right, and that guest bathroom, let's go ahead and copy that for our tooltip after. And let's go down here. So there we go. Guest bathroom is where it's going to be pointing to, and now let's give it a tooltip. Turn that tooltip on. Guest bathroom. All right, very cool. I'm going to go up here and hit save now. And now let's go back over and do that preview again. All right. So that first one that I did before you were here. And here we go. So now we have the kitchen and living room area. We've got our hallway area. And if we turn here up, we've got the guest bathroom. So if I click into this one, you too can see that my camera is just sitting out there for public display. So embarrassing. All right, I'll let it go. That's my last time I'll pick on myself about that. So from the guest bathroom, we can also go back out to that hallway. And in that hallway, we should also make links for a little late to the race. Are these single photos? So George, these are single photos. These are 360-degree photos shot with an Insta360 1X. So here's what they look like. So you need a 360 camera. So this is what the 360 camera gives you. So it's this weird, crazy, distorted photo. And actually, let's just go back to that first kitchen one because, all right. So this really strange image was captured with an Insta360 1X. So on a little stand so that you're not moving it around so it's as clean as possible. And so this image with different 360 viewers gets turned into a full 360. So we're seeing what comes out of the camera. And then let's go look on this screen here. Let's get ourselves out of that and let's get ourselves out into that kitchen. So this photo right here, this 360 photo, gets turned into this 360 virtual tour. So this is the final output. So the plugin that I'm using is called iPanorama 360. So this is one way to display 360s. It doesn't just have to be for interiors and homes. What I said earlier was I've actually done this with my drone. So you can do exterior 360 shots of a property and then have it link into, I can go through the back door, I can go through the front door, I can go through the garage. These 360s give you a lot of options to really show people through a space. All right, so I'm going to close that preview and let's go back there. So we need some more images in here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just, moving things around on screen because I seem to have lost track of, there you are. Okay, we'll move this one out of the way. So let's in here, shall we? So we've gotten the kitchen, the hallway, the guest bathroom. Let's grab that guest bedroom. So I'm going to, under scenes, I'm doing a new scene. And we're going to call this guest bedroom. And then we need to select an image. So I'm going to import that image. And here we go, dragging guest bedroom on over. So I hope that helped answer your question, George. And there always is a little latency and delay. So these messages pop up a little later than when people post them. So I'm still getting used to that. I'm getting more used to OBS, so it's becoming more and more useful to me. All right, so I hit select here. So we put this new guest bedroom into here. And now we can decide, do we want to start out by looking into the closet, the bathroom? I think what I would like to do is position it right about there. Let's tilt that up just a bit. All right, so now I'm going to get that camera starting position. I'm going to type a zoom value of 85. I'm going to scroll down here and we're going to do this one at -1. And we're going to disallow the zoom. So I do this for each of these. You don't have to go through and set it up every single time by hand. If you notice on the left-hand side here below the word scenes, we have an add, we have a duplicate. So we can do the duplicate. So most of our settings will be done. We just have to add the photo and fix its location and give it a name. But so I just did the guest bedroom and we've done the guest bathroom. I'm also, while I'm here, going to go ahead and do the master. So let's do master bedroom. And we're going to select an image again. So I'm going to upload another one. So now I need to look over here. Master bedroom. There we go. So we're bringing the master bedroom in. And then we can go through and add those other markers. So as you can see, the more images you add, the more markers you're going to have for every image. So it can get, it can take a while. So let's select that one and let's take a look here. Because I think I might have no, I did not mislabel it. Okay, I'm doing all right. I thought for a moment that maybe this was not the master bedroom. I'm going to set that right about there. Let's go ahead and get that camera start position. Give it a default value of 85. Turn the auto rotate. Let's put that on 1 and no zoom again. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save here. Now I'm missing a lot of markers. So we've just put several more images in. We need to do some more markers. And we'll do a couple more. I think you're getting the idea with this. So, I'll continue stepping you through. No problem, George. I'm glad that answered your question. Okay, so let's go back to that page that we're building. Let's do that preview again. And let's scroll on down here. So there we go, Unit 102. And so we get to see the whole, this is a really nice layout, I have to say. I was very impressed. It was my favorite layout of all these units that we shot over the weekend. So moving around in here, there we go, we can arrow back, but we can also get ourselves into the guest bathroom. And then, so the guest bathroom is going to need to link to the guest bedroom. So there's one marker that we need to make. And then back in the hallway, we also need to make a marker for the guest bedroom and for the master bedroom. So that's what we're going to do next. Let's close that one down and let's go in here. So our hallway one's going to have several more markers. So right now the hallway's got a connection back to the living room and kitchen and into the guest bathroom. Let's scroll up here. Maybe right about there. And remember, like I said, the previewer is not so great. So it doesn't fully render it. That's okay, because we just want to show final product. So it loads things faster since the previewer is kind of a little low res. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to make a new marker. And check it out. There's that marker. We're moving it over here because we want it. And I think maybe just bringing it down a little because that other one seems a little too high to me. So you can fine tune things after. You can go back and edit these markers. So, all right, let's do guest bedroom. And we've got that marker exactly where we want it. And let's copy that. And so we're going to set that to guest bedroom. So there we go. Now I just need to go over to the tooltip, enable the tooltip, and guest bedroom. Okay, I'm going to hit save again. If you haven't noticed, I hit save a lot. You don't want to lose your work. I remember back in the days with dial-up connections, and you'd lose your connection. And if you weren't hitting save all the time, you had a bad time. So it's just a good habit, you know, just make sure that you're regularly saving what you're working on. Okay, I'm gonna zoom this back out. And I'm just moving this over here because we're gonna do it as that straight shot down the hallway. We're gonna do a new marker, enable the tooltip. So there's the master bedroom. Doing a quick copy of that. The marker is going to be master bedroom. And actually, let's get that. Let's get that level with the other one. There we go. And we need to tell it where to go. So master bedroom. All right, let's go ahead and hit save. And let's look at that preview again. So, all right. Hit the preview button here. Let's see, what time is it? 8:50. So I think you've gotten a great idea of how this works. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep these to an hour at most. So I'm scrolling down, and let's go ahead and look at Unit 102. So once again, very interesting interior. I like the layout. And hallway, we're going to click up into that hallway, and it's turning us back. Look at this. In the hallway, we have the master bedroom, the guest bedroom. We've got the guest bathroom. So now we're going to need to put a link from the guest bedroom into the guest bathroom and a link from the guest bedroom out into the hall. And then we need to go in. So let's go into that guest bedroom. There we go. So there's that restroom there, and the main room and closet space. And as you can see, I don't have any ways to get out of here because I haven't set the markers up yet. So these markers aren't complete. So I need to go through and add the rest of the markers. I also need to add some more images. So there's going to be the master bathroom as well. In the hallway, there's actually a washer dryer unit. So right here in the hallway, in this closet, is a washer dryer unit. So I need to finish importing all the images, and then I need to make all the markers to all the different places so that a person can very nicely and easily tour through here. But as you can see, putting together a 360 virtual tour is not this horrible, daunting thing. It's not that time consuming. Well, I mean, we are taking some time here. We just spent an hour, but I'm also talking to you about it. I have 4 more units to do. As I said, this isn't a requirement from the customer. They're going to be doing their own internal stuff in-house. But I thought it would be nice to offer them if, in the meantime, they would like a tie-over. Since I can create an iframe from this and they could embed the iframe in their website, I thought maybe they could get moving along a little faster as they're doing their own internal work. So, like I said, I always like to do a little extra here and there for clients. It does stick in their minds. They do remember when you do extra things for them. And this particular client that I'm working with right now is a referral from another happy client. So you start building your business on this and growing your business on this. It's pretty amazing. So we've spent an hour here. I think you get the idea of iPanorama 360, which is the plugin for WordPress. Like I said, there are other plugins. For instance, let's close out of this. Before we are done, I'm just going back to the main menu of WordPress really fast. You can do 360 panoramas and virtual tours with Slider Revolution as well. So I'm just down here looking at Slider Revolution. You can't do the cool little marker things in Slider Revolution, but there are a ton of add-ons if you're a paid client of Slider Revolution as well. So I am one of their customers. I do pay them so that I have access to some of these other really cool things. And here we go. I just want to click on this. So this, update now. So it's a panorama add-on display for Slider Revolution or Revolution Slider or whatever the name of this thing is. Slider Revolution. There we go. I don't know why, but I just have a problem with that one. But so, if you have the high-end, the pro version of Slider Revolution, you have access to doing 360 shows as well. iPanorama was not that expensive. Let's see what it costs. Like I said, I'm actually a paying customer, so I'm not plugging them. This isn't a sponsored thing or anything. But okay, that's awesome. And so here we go. Get an extra 6 months of my support, and I did renew that. But where's the price? I'm missing the price. Well, it's over on codecanyon.net. It's iPanorama 360. So if this has given you some ideas, if today's video has given you some ideas on what you could do with this particular plugin, go over and check it out. I don't have an affiliate link. I think I could have an affiliate link, but I don't. I hadn't even thought about it. But I just wanted to share this one with you today, since this is what we've been spent the weekend on. We didn't just do these 360 virtual tours. There's outside, Jody did all that still work. This coming weekend, there's going to be another drone flight for the construction client. And then there's going to be some final flights upcoming to show off the final constructed product. So in the home stretch with this particular one. And it's really great that we're also getting to do some extras with them. I was looking forward to see the interiors. I feel very invested in this particular project because I've been doing it since last July. So it's been an enjoyable one. All right, everyone, I'm gonna head off. It is 8:55, so I did it. I kept myself under that hour. I hope you find this useful, and by all means, come back. Shortly after the live stream is done, YouTube does package it up and have it available so that you can watch back through the whole thing, so that you can see how everything started if you missed out on that, because I know a couple of folks came in midstream. So you can go back and watch the whole thing and see what you missed. If you have any questions about this, if I went too fast on this, if it was a little confusing or anything, let me know. Drop me an email. Like and subscribe down below this video screen. Help grow the channel. And if you're not already a patron on Patreon, there's a link down below to become a patron as well. So see, I can talk today. And now I need to go back and edit and get that camera out of that mirror. How did I even do that? I think I exported the wrong one. Okay. All right. See, I promised I'd stop talking about that earlier, but the rest of you who have hung in this long don't know what I'm talking about probably. Okay, it's time for me to get back to work. I hope you found this one really enjoyable, and we'll see you again really soon. Have a great start to your work week, and stay safe and healthy. So I think we're all doing it, but yeah, I think it's getting old for a lot of people. Okay, we'll see you again in the really near future. Have an awesome week. All right, let's go over. There we go. End stream.